Today we are going to be archiving this behind me. So these two boxes you see on the bottom rows, these are my comics. These are my Marvel comics. And they're about 90% full. And today we've got two comics. Now I don't know I know which is in each one, but I don't know which one carries which. So we'll see. So we're going to look at unboxing these ones first, one by one. So hopefully they've both arrived. So I'm going to do that one. And it comes in a paper bag. Feels like there could be just one in there, but I'm hoping it's two in both. Oh yeah, I know what this one is. So we're going to do that. There's two in this one. We can throw that over there. Paper bag, that can go recycling. And these are Ghost Spider, Spider-Gwen. So we have issue 3 of it. So this is basically where Spider-Gwen finds out that when she's in the other dimension, that the female version of the Goblin is actually her. So this is what's happening is, in this series, she meets Spider-Ham. So this is quite well into the Spider-Verse sort of thing. Is she meets Spider-Ham again, Peter Porker. Peter Porker sends her back into another dimension after she's been released from prison for being the Gwenom, or Venom. So for those who haven't read it, go and read that comic. Go and read that comic because it's really interesting to sort of get that sort of understanding to so you find the comics always link into each other, which is good to know. So we've got that, and she ended up meeting another Peter Parker. So it's interesting to find out, the other dimensions that she's travelling in, which is good. And this is why, as much as I love the Spider-Verse coming out, I'd really like to see a film about it, a proper, not the animated film, but a proper sort of Marvel Universe film. Then there's so much they can go off it. It might be something they do in the future. It'd be brilliant to see. But yeah, she goes back and she's trying to figure out what's going on with this, and she needs to help with these people to help her in her area, in her dimension, basically. So this is how it's working out in the comics, and it's only issue 3. So for those that are unfamiliar with it, it's a good read. This, I've read the first 2 ones. I got confused after reading the second one because I was thinking, hang on, how has she managed to go back to another dimension? And I had to read back on the first one and realised it was Peter Porker, Spider-Ham. So yeah, so that is really interesting to get into that. So that's the Spider-Gwen. So that's issue 3, the actual one. And here I've got the variant strain. And I think it's a Doctor Strange on the front of it. I can't remember who that is. Oh no, Fantastic Four villains. So that is what the variety one is, the variant ones. So yeah, that's pretty good to sort of get a variant strain on that. So I've got the next one on order as well. So before Christmas I decided to order the other ones. And they should come out on the 9th of January. So either that Friday or the Monday after, we'll do another unboxing of that. So for those that are interested in seeing more Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider comics, tune in back then. And this is the second one we're going to unbox. And I love doing that with these. It's so brilliant. And this has got Christmas wrapping on it. So we'll do that. This should be my Captain Marvel ones. So and this is what I hate about it when they do this. I did inquire and these got pushed back by the dates. So I'm hoping, yes, there's 2 in there. That's good. That was a relief of mine. And we've got the final edition of the Life and Captain Marvel. Oh, and that's nice to see what they've done on this one. Is that the variant one? Oh, that is wonderful. If you can't see that, that says Stan Lee, and it's got his birth date to his death date on the top of that, and actually both of them. So I think this is a variant one. I can't remember which one's the variant ones. I'd have to double check before I read them. But that is a wonderful tribute Marvel have done on that. They've actually dedicated the covers to Stan Lee, and I'm shocked because that wasn't on the one I was looking at. I think that's the one. That's the main one, and this one must be the variant. Yeah, it's the variant because it's got the artist's signature on this one. But yeah, I mean that is quite moving now that they've done that. Yeah, so this was the variant one. If I get it, and this one is the original one. We've just done our unboxing of our comics. So we have Ghost Spider from Spider-Gwen. So we've unveiled that, unboxed that, and we've now unboxed our Captain Marvel ones as well. We're also now going to look at, if I find them, pop protectors. So I've got like 3 of them left. So yeah, what we're going to do next is we're going to box up Janet Van Dyne into a box protector. Now all of them behind me here are all boxed up. They've all got these plastic things which are very fiddly to do, and it's not so much a case of putting them all on, but it's then peeling off the plastic protector off it, which is fun in one respect, but it also sort of a bit annoying in the next. So here, now which way round did I have it? Let me just double check. I think I had it that way round. So I had the lid going over the back of it. Yeah, I did. I must have had the lid going over the back of it. So I want to make sure I get this right and it doesn't catch on any of the rims. So now we can sort of remove the film from these. Which is quite fiddly, as you can see. Right, there we go. We can just about get that. I'm not bothered if some of it gets caught into the thing. That's mostly that. Now, yeah, you'll find when you take the film off, your fingers will stick to the plastic a bit more better because it's fresh. Plastic type thing. So the issue is to try and get your folds a bit more better. So we'll get that. We'll get that like that, and then we'll get that. Oh, come on, get in there. Here we go. We're gonna get it in there. So that is fully interlocked into one of them. So it's amazing how to transform one of these into these. It's worth doing that. If you live in a damp property like I do as well, it's well worth it. You know, I really advise you to get these. They're quite rare to get hold of. I think I managed to pick a few up for like £10 or so. So some of them try and charge you £1 per one of these. You can get them cheaper elsewhere. That's just what I'm saying. So keep an eye on the internet, even eBay. Yeah, back of the box is going to be there, the front's going to be there. And we're going to start off with what we got in this box. So, what have I got here? X-Men. So we've got the Canny X-Men. X-Men Essentials, which is basically just a collector's edition. Basically, I got like last year, I think. So that will go in the back. Nat doesn't need one of them at the moment. We've got the original Vision and Scarlet Witch. So these go back to the 1980s. 1986. 1982. Have I got that mixed up? Yeah. So Oh yeah, volume 1, volume 2. Hang on a minute. Have I just cocked that up? Oh yeah. There we go. Right, so let's get this right. Volume 2, there. And then volume 1. So we've got 2 issues of volume 1, which is number 2, issue 2 and issue 3, which go back to 1982. So we'll put that there. And I tend to have my tabs a bit different. So you'll notice I've got 2 different tabs. So one is for a directory of how I keep the comics. So these are sort of a category like certain character. And then I have the volumes as a separate one. So it's nice to sort of keep them separate like that. I managed to get this for £1. And when I researched it online, I saw it going for sale for like £20. But it's Mighty Thor issue 269 from 1977, so in the 1970s, late 1970s. It's got a few stamps on it and all that lot, so the value of it goes down a bit. But it's worth keeping hold of for that if you're interested in that sort of thing. So when you go to a comic book shop, check the basement buckets sections, because when you find a comic like that for £1, it is worth keeping hold of. So yeah, it's oh yes, next come the older comics that I've got. So these are the Tales of Suspense from 1964-65. They're not good condition, but these are old, and I mean really old. These are pre-Iron Man / Captain America comics, so this is before they had their own comics. Captain America had them ages ago, but when Marvel wanted to reintroduce them in the 1960s, these were the comics they were before them. So it's like they led off an Iron Man sort of script, so they went off Iron Man, and the next one was like a Captain America script, so it's like that. But yeah, these are the oldest ones I've got at the moment. It's worth probably what I paid for them. I had to double check the valuation of this on the My Comic Shop website, just to double check whether or not they were worth anything. For me, it's more of a case of the age of the comic more than anything. But it's one of those I got online. So there's a comic book shop, I got it online. So it's worth sort of looking at, and I've kept them sealed at the back. So this is what it's worth doing, just keep them sealed. And if you ever want to get them evaluated, and it will probably tell you the exact value of it, but like I said, these are comics that are over 50 years old. These are worth keeping hold of in that sort of sense. So we have issue 71 and 86 of Tales of Suspense. So that is on my list, so that should be fine. Volume 2? No, volume 1 I think it is, looking at it. And I got that earlier on this year at a comic book shop at a Comic-Con in Southport. Again, I have opened it, but I've resealed it again. But this is where the comic book gloves, the archiving gloves, come in handy if you ever want to read comics like this. This is where they're worth it, and this is why you keep them bagged and boarded, for any sort of keep them in that sort of aspect. So we'll keep that in there. Yeah. So we've got issues 1 right through. You guys didn't see that. You guys didn't see that. Volume 1 to 7. Which is quite good, and like I said, I like that because of the artwork. I do. I love Spider-Woman because of the artwork on these. like I said, compared to the older comics, when you read them, the artwork's a lot more different in the newer ones, and that's what people tend to be drawn to, is the covers. Pricing might put you off, but the covers are really good. Yeah, I've now got a bit of a problem here, because they've now come all the way down here, all my comics. So, yeah, what have we got here on the floor? Oh, why did you have to get so much comics? Why? Another Spider-Gwen one. 31. Right, and this is the Gwenim one. Is this the end of the Gwenim? I've not opened it at all because it's still sealed, but that's an original one going. But that's really nice to see the Gwenim one there. I've got 29 more Gwenim covers. I love the Gwenim covers on these. They've really gone out. Really have. It's that's Gwenim. And I can't remember which other ones I've got. Oh, this one. Oh, wow. This is one of my favourite covers. Because it's actually a lenticular one. So you'll see it changes. So you've got Spider-Gwen 1 minute fighting Gwenim, and then you've got Venom fighting Spider-Man. I think these were really quick to sell. These really were. And this goes back to when you got Venom is back to Gwenim arrives. So it's really good that they've done that. And this is variant strain 4 out of the 2017 this is from. And you've got 1989 for the Spider-Man one. And we just make it out on the side of there. But it's basically like a hologram. That's all it is. The lenticular ones are like holograms. But yeah, I got 3 of these I think in the end. I got a Captain America one, I got a Captain Marvel one, and I went for the Spider-Gwen one. So we're going through some Hulk comics. So we got Planet Hulk, or The Incredible Hulk, from volume 3. So we'll bung that in with that. We've got The Incredible Hulk, 1979. Again, I think that only cost me £1 that. Volume 2, that's volume 2 actually, so that's volume 2. To try and get our Hulk in volume 1 condition is quite, you know. And then we've got Hulk again with Hawkeye. So what happened was, after Hawkeye became Ronin, he went into the Ultimate Comics version of Hawkeye, to what we all know now. So this is why he went back as Hawkeye. He went into the Ultimate Comic stage. So as you know, or as you can see, he sort of got bored with it, with the samurai swords, and went back to his bow and arrows. So yeah, so that's the Hawkeye. We've now got the Guardians of the Galaxy comics here. We've got this one with Captain Marvel, and there's a reason why I got that, because it's got Captain Marvel in it. We've got the Now edition, the variant strain. And we've got the Share Your Universe one, and that one. I mean, I love that one because of Rocket. Rocket looks so menacing there, you know. So basically, for those who weren't aware of the Guardians of the Galaxy comics back in 1991, that's what they were like. And they're a bit more simpler to what you find these days, but it's still quite worth collecting. I managed to get them quite cheap as well. It was just as the films were coming out, I thought, well, I'll get that. Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, Volume 2. And we've got The Man Without Fear, Volume 1. I can't remember what year that's from. 1980s, I think, or 1970s. 1, 1, 2. But But yeah, with Mandrill in it. But yeah, it's good to sort of, I think that's Black Widow as well. Because he did sort of team up with Black Widow for quite a bit. What else have we got? Dark Origins. So this is Captain Marvel Dark Origins. It's like a 2-dimension thing that happened. I think she went back into a dimension and met an alternative Black Widow with Shield and things like that. And this one, I'm going to put these down here, but these came out at the same time as the lenticulars did. And the lenticulars here I'm going to show you is one of my favourite ones, because not only is it Captain Marvel lenticular like that, you've also got the Hulk. Now that Hulk one is the first ever edition of a Hulk comic, and what they did, they turned it into a lenticular, and it's really nice to sort of see that they've done that. Like I said, this is just one of the 3 I got. The other one was a Spider-Gwen one, which was the Venom one, and that showed you the Spider-Man / Venom battle when that first happened. But this one is to do with the Incredible Hulk and Captain Marvel, and basically all it is if I can read it right, is he man or monster? Is she savior or destroyer? Or is she both? And the other one has got, is he both? So they're basically using similar texts to what both comics have. Now this one, from volume 1, which is a variant edition, I cannot trace back to an issue for the value of this. Now they've got this in colour. I've seen this in colour, right? I've seen this comic in colour, never in black and white. Paulios S, I've forgotten what the surname is, but this is a rare comic. I mean, it cost me like £6 and that, but I've seen it for sale. The colour version of this was £25. I am not sure what the black and white versions are, but this is a very rare black and white version I've seen for the variant edition. It's variant edition, it doesn't tell you in the barcode it's variants, so it could be a printing error, but the fact that it is like that, that's got to be worth something, you know, like that. And it's like the variant version of this. So the fact that I spotted this and felt, I've not seen that before, and it's a nice lovely one. I was going to get this framed, I was originally, but I decided against it and just have it with my normal comics for more protection. So that is worth keeping hold of. So anyone sees one of them, let me know if you see how much you've seen it go for sale, the black and white version, because it's worth it. So yeah, earliest version of Captain Marvel I've got from 1968. This is. So yeah, it's the earliest version of Captain Marvel I've got. It's quite a lot. I mean, I don't know where I got it online, I think I did, but that's a brilliant condition for one from 1968. 50-year-old comic, that is a wonderful condition. But I'm keeping it like that. It's brown around the edges, which you expect it to be for that age, but this is where comic book archive and gloves come in handy if you ever want to read it. I do need to get myself a reading table properly, then it'll be a bit more easier to do. 126. So yeah, it's not bad with lenticulars. Some of them you like, some of them I bought because I thought, well, it's a Captain America one, I'll go for that. And that was the main one for it. And then there's the Jack Kirby 100th anniversary variants, number 25. So that's roughly around that time. Looking at the index, because Captain America originally started when it had its own second series, not the timely ones, but when it went to Marvel, it had its own. It started with the numbers of 100 upwards. So everyone thinks the issue started at 1 or 0. It didn't. It started at 100. So I have, and this is to prove it, I've got issue 108 there. I can't remember if it was 1968 or before then. It might have been. So that's that one, and that was quite that's quite a good valued comic that is at the moment. I got 102, um, which is quite a poor state, but it's worth quite a bit. That's June 1968, which means that's December 1968. And then we've got from May 1968 101. So the first issue came in April. Very, very rugged these, but I thought, do you know what? I don't care the state of them because it's something for the future. I thought. So I thought, well, I'll preserve it more than anything, and that's what I sort of look at. I would never get these valued because I don't think they'll be worth that much, these two. If anything, a tenner, if that, to what I paid. But the fact that they are old comics sort of says, I mean, you see that the original for Captain America, volume 100, and that goes for, 200 quid these days? So it's not often. And I can sort of smell the comics coming out of it, and it's like, oh, they're old comics. We go on to the Nick Fury Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the first appearance of Bullseye. With the assassination of Nick Fury. I can't remember when it's from, but volume 15, issue 1 is where it's from. But I mainly got that with these two, and like I said, I love that volume 5 though, with that cover like that. It's just so nice, that cover. And because I saw the rest of them going cheap, I thought, you know what, I'll add it as a big collection. I thought, and that's what I tend to do on eBay. If I spot comics I like, I'll add it to a nice little collection like that. But yeah, I'm sure that's the first appearance of Bullseye. From what I've read up on this issue, it is, from what I've heard. Of course, he doesn't succeed in killing him because he's in future volumes, and that's only volume 1 out of God knows how many. I think they only did 2 volumes, I think, of Nick Fury's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then he moved to S.H.I.E.L.D. itself. Nick Fury in space. That's what I liked about that. It was just the concept of him in space. With, I think that's Mook in the background. I'm sure it is. It looks like him in the background there. It's hard to tell, but the figure in that sort of area just looks like him. And that one's just, well, that's like Live and Let Die, to be honest. If you know your James Bond films, that's what that reminds me of, that cover. So 1960s looking. And the fact you've actually got the artist's signature on the side here, it's really nice to sort of to put that touch up. So that is the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and we've just got one more comic to put in here now. Actually, one of the first comics I got, along with the Captain America one. This is my first vintage one I actually bought from 1973 or 1974. The Avengers, and it's UK based, so it's the UK version, and it's not a reprint from what I can see, but you got Hawkeye, I think that's Thor, and the monster from the Mind Machine. The Black Widow has it. Fight on, fall. But it's pretty good, that, and it's 2 bonus features of Iron Fist and Doctor Strange in it. So it's nice to have got that.